I've been amusing myself with terrifying old murder ballads. Here's one from Francis James Child's collection that should be turned into a Hollywood film any day now.
Said my lord to his lady as he mounted his horse, "Take care of Long Lankin who lies in the moss." Said my lord to his lady as he rode away, "Take care of Long Lankin who lies in the clay. Let the doors be all bolted and the windows all pinned, and leave not a hole for a mouse to creep in." Then he kissed his fair lady and he rode away. He must be in London before break of day. The doors were all bolted and the windows were pinned, all but one little window where Long Lankin crept in. "Where is the lord of this house?" said Long Lankin. "He is gone to fair London," said the false nurse to him. "Where is the lady of this house?" said Long Lankin. "She's asleep in her chamber," said the false nurse to him. "Where is the heir of this house?" said Long Lankin. "He's asleep in his cradle," said the false nurse to him. "We'll prick him and prick him all over with a pin, and that will make your lady to come down to him." So she pricked him and pricked all over with a pin, and the nurse held a basin for the blood to run in. "Oh, nurse, how you sleep, oh, nurse, how you snore, and you leave my little son Johnson to cry and to roar. I've tried him with suck, and I've tried him with pap, so come down, my fair lady, and nurse him in your lap. Oh, nurse, how you sleep, oh, nurse, how you snore, and you leave my little son Johnson to cry and to roar. I've tried him with apples, I've tried him with pears, so come down, my fair lady, and rock him in your chair." "How can I come down? 'Tis so late in the night, when there's no candle burning nor fire to give light. You have 3 silver mantles as bright as the sun, so come down, my fair lady, by the light of one." The lady, she came down the stair, trip for trap, who so ready as bold Lambkin to meet her in the dark. Good morrow, said bold Lamkin then. Good morrow, said the lady to him. "Oh, where is Lord Montgomery? Oh, where is he gone? Oh, he is up in England to wait on the king. Oh, where are your servants? Oh, where are they gone? They are all up to England to wait upon him. Oh, spare me, Long Lankin, oh, spare me till 12 o'clock. You shall have as much gold as you can carry on your back, though you'd give me as much as I could put in a sack. I would not spare thy life till thy lord comes back. Oh, spare me, Long Lankin, oh, spare me 1 hour. You shall have my daughter Betsy, she is sweet as a flower. Where is your daughter Betsy? She may do some good. She can hold a silver basin to catch your heart's blood. To hold my lady's heart's blood would make my heart full woe. Oh, rather kill me, Lankin, and let my lady go. Lady Betsy was sitting in her window so high, and she saw her father as he was riding by. Oh, father, don't lay blame on me. 'Twas the false nurse and Long Lankin that killed your lady. There was blood in the chamber, and blood in the hall, and blood in his lady's room, which he liked worst of all. Then Long Lankin was hanged on a gallows so high, and the false nurse was burnt in a fire just by.
That one has some amendments for singability made by me. You can read more versions of Lamkin here, or listen to it performed in this creepy earworm. See the link in the blog. Those irked that I'm into European poetry now can enjoy this American folk music version of Lamkin by Frank Profit. See the link in the blog post. Here bold Lankin becomes bow Lankins, and false nurse becomes faltress. Such mishearings are typical of folk song evolution when it's passed through oral tradition and performed rather than written. My most exciting research turned up the oldest known print version of the song from 1770s Scotland as Lammikin, written in a nice old-style Scots-dialect and said to be sung to the tune of Gilmoris.
A better mason Lammikin never builded with a stone. Qua builded Lord where his castle, but wages never gained men. Sen ye win again him a garden Lord, sen ye win again him a hire. Yon proud castle so stately built, I shall get rock with the fire. Sen ye win again him a wages Lord, he shall he goes to do. And sen he brewed a black revenge, and sen he vowed a vow. Now bided him, my love, my life, I wearily bided him. Oh, gang nae to this day's hunting, to leave me a my lane. Yestreen, I dreamed my bower, all red blood was fou. In ye gang to this black hunting, I shall hae cause to rue. Qua looks to dreams my winsome dame, ye hae nae cause to fear. And sen he's kissed her comely cheek, and signed the starting tear. And sen he's gone to the good green wood, and she to her painted bower, and she's guard steek doors, windows, yates of castle hall and tower. The steeked doors, the steeked yates, close to the cheek and chin, they steek them but a little wicket, and Lammikin creeping. Now where's the lady of this castle? Nurse tale to Lammikin. She's sewing up into her bower the false Norris she sang. Lammikin knit the bonny babe, while Lord false Norris sings. Lammikin nipped the bonny babe, while each the red blood springs. O gentle Norris, please my babe, oh please him with the keys. It will no be pleased, gay lady, gin I'd sit on my knees. Good gentle Norris, please my babe, oh please him with a knife. He winna be pleased, mistress mine, gin I would lay down my life. Sweet Norris Lowlad cries my babe, oh please him with the bell. He winna be pleased, gay lady, till he come down your sail. And when she saw the red blood, a loud screeched she, oh monster, monster, spare my child, whatever scathed thee. Oh, spare it in your bloody breast, I'll bear no hurt a stain. Oh, spare and ye shall have gold, what ye can carry hame. Dame, I want not your gaudy said, Dame, I want not your sea. I have been wronged by your lord, ye shall black vengeance three. Here are nae sirs to guard your hall, they trusty spearmen here. They sound the horn in the green wood, and chase the doe and deer. O Mary sounds the good green wood, wi' huntsmen, hounds, and horn. Your lord Salru ere sets your son, he has done me scathe and scorn.
And it's there the version ends without saying what exactly Lammikin does to the Lord's wife after luring her downstairs. A longer version of what seems otherwise to be the same song can be found in this old book. See the link in the blog post. In my continued search for info about the Lammikin Song, I found the oldest version of the tune. It's apparently out of a now-lost manuscript of the 1690s, sometimes said to be from the year 1578, but that appears to actually be the library call number, which in a copy is referred to as the Bleaky MS. Behold the music in the blog post. Interestingly, the version of the music doesn't match well with the oldest lyrics. That makes a better fit to Child's version E.
Lankin was as good a mason as ever laid stone. He builded Montgomery's castle, but Damon got none. He builded the castle without and within, but he left an open wake for himself to get in. Lord Montgomery said to his lady when he went abroad, take care of old Lamkin, for he is in the ward. Get both the gate Norris without and within, leave not the wake open to let bold Lankin in. She bolted the gates without and within, but she left the wake open to let bold Lankin in. Good morrow, said bold Lankin then. Good morrow, says the false nurse to him. Where is Lord Montgomery, or where is he gone? He's gone up to England to wait on the king. Where are the servants, and where are they gone? They are all up to England to wait upon him. Where is your lady, or where is she gone? She's in her bower sitting and sewing her sling. Oh, what shall we do for to make her come down? kill the pretty baby that's sleeping so sound. Lamkin he rocked and a false nurse she sung, and she stabbed the babe to the heart with a silver bodkin. Oh, still my babe Boris, so still him with the pap. He'll no be stilled, madam, for this nor for that. Oh, still my babe Norris, go still him with the keys. He'll no be stilled, madam, let me do what I please. Oh, still my babe Norris, go still him with the bell. He'll no be stilled, madam, till you come down yourself. How can I come down this cold winter night, when there's neither coal burning nor yet candlelight? The sark on your back is whiter than the swan. Come down the stair, lady, by the light of your hand. The lady, she came down the stair, trip for trap, was so ready as the Lamkin to meet her in the dark. Good morrow, said old Lankin then. Good morrow, said the lady to him. Oh, where is Lord Montgomery? Oh, where is he gone? Oh, he is up to England to wait on the king. Oh, where are your servants, or where are they gone? They are all up to England to wait upon him. I'll give you as much gold, Lamkin, as you'll put in a peck, if you'll spare my life till my lord comes back. Though you'd give me as much as I could put in a sack, I would not spare thy life till thy lord comes back. Lord Montgomery sat in England drinking with the king. The buttons flew off his coat, all in a ring. God prosper, my lady and son, for before I get home, they will all be undone.
Montgomery is the main piece that doesn't fit in the first verse. But reading Child's collection, one sees how the aristocrat's name varies greatly, with two-syllable names like Early, Aaron, Murray, and Weary being common. For some reason, the tune reminds me a bit superficially of this contemporary tune by Henry Purcell from The Fairy Queen. See the link in the blog post. The Song of Long Lankin usually tells a pretty consistent story. Lankin, or whatever variant of the name, comes to the house of a lord while he is away, and assisted by a false nurse, false in the sense of disloyal, Lankin tortures the lord's baby, using its cries to lure the lady of the house downstairs. Some versions of the song cut away at this point, though many include verses to suggest the lady is murdered with the baby, and that Lankin and the nurse are punished for their crimes. Variants include versions of the song typical of Scotland, where Lankin's motive is provided. He is a mason who is cheated of his pay by the lord of the house, and so the murders are done out of revenge. There are also versions where other characters, like one or more daughters or additional servants, are somehow involved in the crime, usually as innocents who Lankin forces to watch or to reluctantly participate in the crime. There are some theories theories as to what the song is about, starting with the name of Lankin. Those who favor the spelling of Lamkin tend to say it's a nickname given either to mock him for his quietly bearing the lack of payment, or else that it's an ironic nickname given because of his known violent tendencies. N.G. Gilchrist in the 1930s wrote about the evolution of the song and noted that Lamkin or Lammikin was not necessarily a misspelling of Lamkin, but is a legitimate Flemish name all itself, and might have meant that the murderous mason was supposed to be a foreign workman. There are some theories about Lamkin, often repeated in spite of the poor evidence for them. One often found in internet results is that Lamkin is supposed to be a leper who is trying to use the blood of the baby to cure his disease. However, the first reason to doubt this is that it seems like Lamkin being a leper looking for blood would be a lot more remarkable than his being a mason or even having no motive at all, and one would thus expect at least some of the surviving versions to have retained this interesting detail. The other reason to doubt it is that there's little evidence that baby's blood was ever used as any kind of folk remedy for leprosy. It is mentioned in some high-end medieval medical texts of a type that commoners wouldn't have access to, and which dealt more with the theory of medicine than its practice. It's more likely some modern academic would be familiar with them than it would have been for an actual medieval leper to know them. Finally, the whole notion seems to be based on those versions of the song where Lankin collects the blood in a basin, which is not a consistent element of the story. Only Child's F, G, N, O, T, and V versions have the detail, a relatively small number of the total, and really it seems like it might be included for no better reason than that basin makes a rhyme for the necessary in endings in the song about Lankin, which also seem to provide his motive for using a pin to draw the blood rather than some more efficient weapon if collecting the blood were his real goal. Another unlikely but oft repeated occult-sounding theory is that the mason needs to consecrate the house with blood in order to finish the job. Though if he went unpaid, it seems odd that he would be so anxious to do so. To explain this, another story that is never mentioned in the song gets added, that Lankin must have killed his own child to consecrate the house, and now wants the Lord's child's blood as payback. But this has the same issues as above. No version of the song retains these details, which should be more interesting than mere unpaid wages. This ancient practice wasn't used anymore by medieval times, much less the 17th century when the song appears, and it's once again all tied to trying to explain the basin versions of the song. It seems more likely than any of these supernatural reasons that the song merely retells some known crime, like the songs of Lady Warriston tell of the actual crime which occurred in the year 1600. Between muddied details of the Lamkin songs, for example, the victim is often said to be Lord Weir or Lord Weary, but also named variously as Lord Arran, Lord Lauriston, Lord Ury, Lord Montgomery, Lord Murray, etc. And the sad fact that the court and criminal records from so long ago don't always survive. It's very unlikely that the source crime could be identified with certainty. As you can see in the Lady Warriston examples linked above, above, see the blog post for links. Details of the real crime do get omitted and exaggerated in the folk tradition. Too long didn't read is that the real case involved Lady Warriston colluding with her servants to strangle her abusive husband, and the actual murderer was not the lady herself, but a man named Weir. The songs never mention him at all, and in one version her motive for the murder is not physical abuse, but a specific accusation from her husband that he's not the father of her child. It's an interesting coincidence that Lady Warriston's case is the only old court case I could find that involved a false nurse, who was punished by being burnt at the stake. As far as a true crime basis for Lankin, there is an interesting incident which happened circa 1575 in Scotland. It shares a few common details: a revenge crime against a lord and his lady, creeping in through an open gate with only the lady and her female servant discovered at home, trying to lure someone out with another person's scream, though it is not so exact that one could definitely say it's the same crime. I'm including it for general interest. The incident was some kind of family squabble gone awry. The trouble began when Lady Hazelhead slapped a servant, Robert Kent, belonging to her relative John Montgomery. Kent, John, and his brother Gabriel Montgomery returned to her house at Hazelhead, also called Hazelhead, early in the morning to avenge themselves. And, I'm translating this out of the 16th century Scots for you, finding the gate of the said place open, found the said lady opening a locked bowl, and no person with her and no person therein but one girl. The said Robert Kent pulled her down by the hair of her head backward to the ground, and struck and beat her with his fists and feet many grievously painful strikes, wherewith they have bruised and broken her bowels, that she is never able to conceive children again. Meanwhile Gabriel stood with a cocked pistol in his hand, holding the mouth thereof to the door that comes from the proper chamber of the said Hugh, Lord Hazelhead, to the hall, thinking the said Hugh should have come in at the hall door to relieve his said wife when he heard her cry. The malefactors worried they would rouse others with their commotion before they were able to lure Hugh, and they left, stealing some items and one of his horses when they went. Hugh chased after them, but was met with pistols and drawn swords, and after being badly injured was left for dead. Evidently Hugh retaliated against his relative Gabriel at a later time, and the Hazelhead servants are later found on trial for his murder. And the story didn't end there, as Robert Kent was then acquitted of any wrongdoing, but the Assize later tried for willful error, or in other words, rigging the verdict. These court cases evidently went on for a time, back and forth, with no actual convictions of anyone. I recently came across a searchable database of English broadsides. Before YouTube, this was how you shared songs, urban legends, gross news, and so forth, through broadsides or broadsheets. I began trying to plug in any combinations of words that might lead to early/obscure versions of Lamkin. Some interesting finds. A cuckold by consent contains the phrase, as good a blank as ever laid stone, as in the older versions of Lankin, which is odd because the song is about a miller who I don't has a reputation for stone laying. The remainder of the lyrics are about the miller attempting to dupe a woman into sleeping with him in exchange for free flour, but his own wife catches on and takes the woman's place in bed. There is a hint in many versions of Lankin that his real target is some kind of revenge or seduction of the lady of the house, but the connection seems pretty weak beyond perhaps a borrowed line and perhaps a common tune. I can't find any version of the bed's making. Shinken's misfortune. There are several Broadside songs about Shinken, apparently being a stereotype Welsh name. It is superficially similar to Lammikin, Lankin, Lankin, and other variants. I actually came across this song because of the lyric "with a pin," which here Shinken uses to spur on a goat. He is a criminal committing crimes, though nothing as severe as murder, mostly just notable as another similar name circulating in ballad tradition. Lady Isabella's Tragedy. This is actually the same story as the old Snow White and the Wicked Queen, but without the hunter feeling a last-minute pang of conscience that prevents him from going through with the assigned murder. Then, like the old Greek myth of Philomela, Procne and Etis, the corpse is baked into a pie that is fed to the father. The connections to the Lankin story are that the crime takes place while the lord of the house is away hunting, and also the fate of the murderers, the cruel stepmother, for to be burnt at stake. Likewise he judged the master cook in boiling oil to stand. There are also some versions of Lankin in which a daughter of the house is present, and either is killed or, like the scullion boy of this tale, attempts to intervene in the murders. The end.